Well, good evening, everyone. It's Sunday night. It's the 5th of December, and welcome to Live in the Hive, the Sunday Showstopper. And have we got a show for you this evening? It is theatre fantastic. We have got some of the stars from the brilliant shows across Greater Manchester, and they are going to be talking to me in this very hive. Now, who have we got to look forward to? We've got the stars of Eric and Ern at Christmas. Now, that is on at the Lowry from tomorrow. I got to catch up with them and they are hilarious. We've also got the musical director of a really exciting play, which is at the Royal Exchange. Now, it's called The Undoing of Prudencia Hart. It really is very different for a festive offering. And we're going to the Edge Theatre because we are speaking to one of the stars of Spinach, which is currently playing at the Edge in Chorlton. So it is a great show that we've got lined up for you. So do stay with me this evening. And we also want you to get involved as usual. So any comments that you've got, anything you'd like, any questions you want to ask me, then you can just put it in the comments box. I am live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube this evening. So please go away and just delight yourself with some theatre for the next half an hour or so. And it's theatre across Greater Manchester that we are talking about tonight, because Manchester is such a hotbed of activity for some of the best theatre around. We're definitely giving the West End a run for its money. And talking of the West End, our first guests have really shone on the West End platform. They've even bagged themselves an Olivier Award nomination. I'm talking of the stars of Eric and Ern, and they are at the Lowry as from tomorrow. Eric and Ern, of course, we're talking about Morecambe and Wise, and the stars of this show joined me a little bit earlier on this week to tell me exactly what it's like playing those legends. Take a look. Hilarious duo next. Yes, I'm talking about you, Ian and Jonty. Thanks for joining us live in the Hive. I think this is going to be quite a cheeky interview because not only see what I mean?
Sorry.
Not only do you play the legends that are Eric and Ern on stage, but you two are just a perfect pair, and you've been together 7 years now. Tell us what it is like to play Eric and Ernie every night when you go on stage.
Well, it's a joy. I mean, because Eric and Ernie were beloved by the British public, and we portraying Eric and Ernie, we get a bit of that as well. So it's an absolute joy. I mean, it really is, isn't it, Ian?
Yeah, I mean, we're on stage. I'm on stage with my best mate. We've known each other for 38 years, Michelle.
We have.
Yeah, man and boy. I mean, we were very young when we started, obviously.
I was wearing short trousers at the time.
I still am.
And I suppose see, I knew you were going to be trouble. I suppose that's really kind of what makes a connection on stage so great. So did it seem quite natural for you to come together to become Eric and Ern? As you say, you've known each other 38 years, but you've only been doing this now for 7, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, well, I had a full head of hair before, I haven't always been bald.
Yeah.
And
I was 6'3".
No,
but it was an accident, wasn't it? Yeah. It was an accident how this happened. The whole thing, somebody at the golf club, we played golf at the stage golf side. Somebody asked Jonty to do a sketch as Eric. And there you go. Jonty could take over.
And I thought, well, I need an Ern. And Ian, we just played around actually together. It was the summer, and he was at the bar in his shorts, and I saw these little short, fat, hairy legs poking out, and I thought, he'll be my Ern.
Yeah.
And the rest is history, really.
Yeah.
And here you are today. You're Olivier Award nominated. I mean, I bow down.
Absolutely. We didn't win. We didn't win,
though.
No.
And that's a long way coming from a golf course and just saying he's got kind of hairy and his short legs, so let's go and do this.
Absolutely, It is. It's been a magical journey, to be honest. It really has.
Now, obviously, they are people that we all took to our hearts, right? So when you go to play them on stage, there's that element, and I suppose the pressure to get it right, isn't there?
It's a huge pressure. I mean, that was our biggest fear, really, when we first wrote the play. We were very nervous about it, but obviously we've been getting away with it for a few years now. So fingers crossed we get it right. But we've never worked as hard at anything at all in our lives, have we?
And you can see, I mean, some of the audience, you can see them in the front row, the first few rows, the faces you can see. They're sitting there going, go on then. Go on, be Eric and Ern, be Morecambe and Wise. And for the first 5 minutes, they're sort of sussing out what we're going to be like. But after once they relax, then we're off and running.
Yeah, I mean, we've had such lovely comments from people, you know. I mean, people saying that we take them back to a different time when they were sitting watching Eric and Ernie at home with their mum and dad and grandparents all around the telly at Christmas. You know, I mean, it was a big emotional connection to Eric and Ernie for the people who come and watch it. So if we can transport them for the time of the show back to those simpler, happier times, especially after what we've been going, COVID, but we can't say that. But, you know, it really... I think we forget. I think it really gives people a lift, and that's the power of Morecambe and Wise.
Yeah,
I've got to say I completely agree. that is so him. Oh my gosh! I mean, you guys do. You know, I hope you take this very nicely. You do resemble them. You know, there is that essence there, and kind of the mannerisms. I know you like to put your own kind of essence on it, so it's not completely, you know, the whole kind of mimic, which again I think is great and is kind of, you know, a really nice tribute to them. But you do. It's like looking at them now. When you put those glasses on, Jonty, I'm taken back to being a child, and as you say, watching the Christmas special, because that was a moment. That was like the staple thing of what you would do. You would turn on the telly and watch the special and see kind of what stars were going to join them.
Yeah,
and this is Eric and Ern at Christmas. So it makes me think, is it going to be very much like we get to see that show?
Well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, that's the idea. But Eric and Ern were very clever, actually, because when their shows were on at Christmas. They weren't actually too Christmassy, really, were they, Ian?
No, not at all. Not at all. And there was a lovely comment. We played Liverpool a couple of weeks ago, and this lady we met for a drink after the show, and she said, it took me back to watching it with mum, dad, and the whole family. And she said, I remember as a child wishing I was in that studio watching Eric and Ern live. And she said, tonight my wish came true, which was lovely, really, because and that's what we're going for. That's what we're going for. Is like taking you back to that time when everybody loved sitting around watching Morecambe Wise. And that's the other thing to mention, of course, is we get kids in the audience. And we had a 10-year-old boy the other night who was absolutely laughing his head off in the front row with his mum and his grandparents. So there's like Morecambe Wise. The whole family can sit and watch the show.
There was a comment, actually, another comment, which really struck me, and I sent it to you actually today. It was a woman left a comment on one of our social media pages who'd seen the show. She said, I've never been to the theatre before. I didn't know who Morecambe and Wise were. She said, but I laughed from beginning to end. So the greatest. That's the greatest. If we
and I think that was the magic, wasn't it? It was kind of, it works on so many different levels.
Yeah.
And good comedy, you know, like Morecambe and Wise, like things like Only Fools and Horses. It transcends time, doesn't it? And generations.
Absolutely. I think Eric and Ernie were timeless. They've survived so long because they were hilariously funny. And none of their comedy, I think, was nasty. It wasn't political. It wasn't, they weren't mean about anybody. It was just slightly surreal and off the wall. And their lives together as well was important, in the flat and in the bed and in the together. You know, it's like Eddie Braben wrote brilliantly for them, I think.
And we've mined all those golden nuggets, all the lines all the sketches you know and love. They're in there somewhere in one way or another. So and the audience can hear the line coming, you know. And the line is about an ice cream van going past. What is it?
Yes. Yeah, we couldn't possibly say.
But no.
That gets a bigger reaction. That almost like gets a standing ovation.
It took the roof off in Liverpool, yeah.
That is brilliant. Well, let's take a look and see you in action.
Half the bubbles who tap today. Half the bubbles who bring me sunshine in your smile.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show.
Have we got time for any more?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, good.
All the while in this world.
You're not seriously going to do some ventriloquism?
Very similar. Hello, Charlie. How are you? I'm very well, thank you.
I can see your lips moving.
It's wonderful to be reminded
about how, and it was very affectionate. It was a wonderfully affectionate performance.
Let your arms be as warm.
Shakespeare?
Eh?
Shakespeare.
I've no idea who he is, Ern. It was just handed to me when I came on. What do you think of the show so far?
He is incredibly like him, and he gets the mannerisms amazingly well.
He's not going to sell much ice cream good at that speed, is he? Hey, it's clever, isn't it?
I don't quite know how to put this.
Yes.
I still haven't been paid.
It was a great show and totally entertaining, and there were some jokes I'd never heard before and some I want to steal.
Great! To make me happy through the years.
Mr. Memory!
Arsenal! What are these?
Bongo.
Just watch it. That's all. What are these?
They are bongos.
Well, does he know you've got them? Can he say fracas? No. Fracas.
Bring me blood, bring me sunshine, bring me love.
It really got to me tonight. It was superb. I think this should be garlanded with awards for this.
Oh, they were absolutely brilliant. So much fun I had interviewing that pair. And we've got more from Jonty and Ian a little bit later. And please do stay tuned, because you may even see me try, I say the word try, to sing Bring Me Sunshine with them. If you've got some earplugs to hand, you might need them for the end. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we've got loads more coming up on the show. Later on, we are going to be taking a look at the show Spinach, which is on at the Edge, and also talking to the musical director of The Strange Undoing of Prudencia Hart, which is currently about to start at the Royal Exchange. In fact, I think it opens this evening. And talking about the theatre, well, we couldn't have Live in the Hive without our very own Greater Manchester Theatre News. And what is the news from Greater Manchester this week? Well, the exciting news is that the Lowry have announced that this is coming to the Lowry next year. It's called Identical. It's a brand new musical. And if it looks familiar, well, that is because it is based on the novel The Parent Trap and also the movie of the same name. Do you remember that? You may have seen it because there's been quite a few remakes of it, one starring Jodie Foster many, many years ago. It was one of my favourite films. And it's about identical twin sisters who have been separated at birth. And then they accidentally meet 10 years later at a summer camp. And when they find out that they are identical sisters, they try their best to get their parents back together. Now it's going to be lovely. It's going to be very family and fun filled, and it's got brand new music. It's also directed by Sir Trevor Nunn, the guy that was behind things like Phantom of the Opera direction and Les Mis. So again, great names at the helm there, and it is coming to the Lowry August through to September next year, and you can book tickets already for that one. So top tip there for next year's theatre. And this as well is happening right now. What is that, you might imagine? Well, it's Advent Plays, because the Oldham Coliseum are doing this delightful thing at the moment on social media. It's digital Advent calendar plays. So basically, every day at the moment in December, all the way up to 24th of December, then you can catch a mini play courtesy of the Oldham Coliseum. Now, how do you do that? Well, you just go onto Oldham Coliseum's social media channels and you'll find a link there every single day. And these plays are like about 5 minutes long maximum. So it is great if you want to watch it with the kids on your own, maybe in the morning when you're getting your breakfast, maybe just before bed. And they're really heartwarming, festive stories. And I think it's a great offering for them. It's free and it's really nice and entertaining. So go check out those digital Advent calendar plays. Get festive. We're on the 5th of December, everyone. I really do hope that you've got your Christmas trees up. If you haven't, bar humbug. Now, talking of Christmas and festive offerings, if you go down to the Royal Exchange Theatre from tonight until January, you are going to see a play with a difference. It's called The Strange Undoing of Prudencia Hart. And I managed last week to catch up with the musical director of this very show. Marlon Lewis talked to me about what it is like to put together a production like this and how important music is to this particular play. Thank you so much for taking time out of rehearsals. This must be a really busy time for you because the show opens on the 4th of December, doesn't it?
Yep. So we're in the last week of rehearsals at the moment, and next week we have our tech rehearsals. So making sure that all the gadgets work.
Fantastic. You're with us in Manchester for 3 months. I'm spotting that Scottish accent. How are you finding Manchester? Are you in love with it yet?
Yeah, I totally it's a great city. I think I'm still slightly love Glasgow a little bit more, but it's a wonderful place. It's been busy, but I've been trying to get out a wee bit. So going to some sessions and things, meeting local musicians and that, and it's been really great. I really like the city.
Now, this is really exciting, the project that you're involved with at the Royal Exchange. Tell us a little bit about the premise of the show.
So it's basically, it's going to be like a fun Christmas extravaganza, but with a difference. So it's called The Strange Undoing of Prudencia Hart. And it's a play by David Greek, directed by Debbie Hannon. And it's about this sort of, I guess, uptight girl who's a graduate of her doctorate and things, who's doing studies in folklore and the devil and things. And throughout the play, basically, she becomes undone, essentially. And that is in the form of, well, I don't want to ruin the show, but there's definitely the devil involved. So it's very fun.
It's described as a wild musical play, and I love that because it makes it sound so exciting. And what's brilliant and eclectic about it is you're merging Scottish folk music with like upbeat kind of pop music. It's like one big mashup. Am I right?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, the play's set in like the Scottish borders in Kelso. And so I've been roped in as the Scottish musician, so getting all those little nuances and things, and I've been teaching the cast and things to play Scottish music. Most of them have been classical musicians at points, so we've been doing that, and then just doing pop songs like Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, and just folkifying it. As well as just music that happens all throughout the play, just fun little things. And then the most exciting bit for me has been learning to underscore everything. So improvising in time to the movement and in time to the play has been just amazing. So it is super fun. There's just there's music everywhere, and it's just so much energy and so eclectic.
Oh, you've got me buzzing already. And we're going to see you on the stage because not only are you the musical director of this performance, you're actually there and we can see you, can't we?
Yes, this is my first foray into acting. I'm loving it. It's totally a bit mental. Yeah, that's me. that's the wonderful Paul Tinto on guitar. So
where do you start when you're musical director of a production? How does that work? Do you kind of read the play first? Do you kind of then have lots of meetings about the feel of it? Enlighten us.
So I guess I began by just reading the script, and I just made lots of notes about where I thought music would go. And then it's a really collaborative process. So a lot of what I've been doing and writing and composing has been happening as the play happens, because nobody knows what it's going to look like until we get into the room, and even now it's still changing at times. So you've got to be really like adaptable and ready to change things. So I came with a whole host of ideas for what to do, but then most of those have turned into something completely different, but in a really good way.
And how are you finding the challenging kind of scene of the Royal Exchange? Because this is theatre in the round. I mean, it's an amazing theatre, isn't it?
It's so beautiful. Like it's genuinely the first room that I've ever been awestruck at. I went in and I was just like, I didn't have words. And on the first day we got to climb up to the very top. So you know how it's like this huge scaffolding spaceship in the middle of this like Victorian building. Climbed up to the very top, so like almost inside the dome, the big blue dome at the top.
Wow, gosh. Did you get a little bit of vertigo?
I didn't. I just was like excited about the acoustics, and I wanted to play my bagpipes in there because it sounds amazing. But yeah, in the round. Sorry.
Talking about the bagpipes, you've just come back from Helsinki, haven't you? And have you been studying? Is it the Finnish bagpipes? I never knew anything like this existed. We really do need a spotlight to be shone on different types of music and not just the usual, bog standard piano and guitar.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I mean, like I've been really fascinated by like bagpipe music since a young age, and then I ended up getting really into bagpipes from all over the world because they didn't originate in Scotland. Everyone thinks of them as a Scottish instrument, but they originated in the Middle East and traveled all the way through Europe and things. So most countries in Europe have their own set of bagpipes, basically, and they're all pretty different. The Finnish bagpipes kind of went extinct, and right now there's a few people, Gonzalo Cruz and Petri Prauda, who are kind of reviving them and recreating this instrument. So there's a whole music that goes along with that, and it was such a treat to be out there, just learning something so new.
Because you do an array of things. I mean, you've become the finalist of the BBC Scotland. Is it Traditional Young Musician of the Year? That was this year. That's incredible. You're a piper. You do the fiddle, don't you? You compose as well. What next, Marlin?
So right now, I guess I'm just getting ready to start touring and things next year. I've got my trio, which is myself, Luke McNally on bouzouki and Sally Simpson on fiddle, and they're just the most amazing musicians to work with. So I guess the next big thing would be recording an album. Looking to do that late next year.
That would be brilliant. And have you been inspired from this show to kind of maybe mix it up, or would you be staying traditional folk?
Oh, good question. So I think what I do anyway is not quite traditional folk. I would say it's quite neo-trad sort of thing. But I mean, this show has just been so eye-opening in terms of different creative practices and working with people from different genres and different mediums. So there's a huge element of I just want to do more theatre now, basically. But it will definitely influence my own music along the way, I think.
And I've got to ask you then, as musical director, what is your favourite part in the show? If there's a particular kind of moment of music that you go, God, that's the bit I love that we get to. What is it?
So that's easy for me to answer. In the second half, there's a bit where thousands of years are passing and this keeps happening. Like there's like 11 transition scenes. And so through music and improvisation, I have to tell that story basically live. And it's such a exciting, rewarding thing because there's all these little like motifs that get revisited, and each character's got a little piece of music that's about their feeling or something, and it's so exciting to do that live, underscoring what they're doing on stage.
I bet you just can't wait to kind of see the audience go and see it now and get their response to it.
Yeah, totally. Like it still feels so half done until the audience are there. You have to have them in the room to experience it in order to really know what's happening, basically, because you've been working on it for weeks now, and then somebody's going to see it for the first time, so it's such a different experience.
Oh, well, it sounds so exciting and a real alternative to kind of what is out there for, those festive offerings from the theatre. I like this. It sounds buzzing, exciting, full of brilliant music, and also, I imagine, some great acting as well. So we shall be heading down there to the Royal Exchange. You have got, gosh, what is it, another week or so just left of those rehearsals, and then you're on stage from the 4th of December all the way through to January. Are you spending Christmas here, or are you going back to Scotland?
I'm spending Christmas here. We get Christmas and Boxing Day off. So I'll be in Manchester.
Do you know what? I spent Christmas in Glasgow and in Manchester, and both are equal. When you get back home, though, you must go and get some square sausage. I love that. And fried bread. I'm a huge fan. Thank you so much, Marlin, for chatting to us, and good luck with the run. And we'll look out for that album.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, do you know what, Marlin? How talented can I say Marlin is? And that show is currently now on stage. Wow, can you believe that? How quickly is this year going? We spoke only last week, and Marlin and the Strange Undoing of Prudencia Hart is now on at the Royal Exchange. So I hope that whet your appetite. It does sound very, very exciting. And another play that really has caught my eye is a play called Spinach. Now, this one is at the Edge in Chawton-cum-Hardy. And if you want to go and see something that is truly different, then this one definitely has to be on your list. And I got to speak to one of the cast members, Rachel McGuinness. Now, she enlightened me on what the audience can expect from this show when I spoke to her a couple of days ago and had this lovely interview. Starring in Spinach. It's had rave reviews from the press. How does it feel being in a production like this? Because it's quite exciting, and it still feels fresh 10 years on since it was first performed.
Yeah, I didn't see it 10 years ago. So coming into the production, I'd obviously read the script, and I just thought it was brilliant and really unique as well. And we had our press night last night, and it just went down an absolute treat. And honestly, like the vibes from the audience, it was such a warm audience, and it really helps us as performers on stage. And it's just, I feel so grateful to be able to be doing live theatre again.
Oh, it must feel a joy, and absolutely getting that vibe from the audience who have missed it for so long. Now, this production, I love the tagline that it says, it's not an opera. It's not an opera, but it is all sung, isn't it? Explain how that is and what people can expect.
Yeah, so it is a sung through play. It's really unique. It's like something I've never seen before, but it literally has a little bit of everything. You've got romance, it's a thriller, it's also a comedy. And after the show last night, I was talking to some of the audience, and they said it was honestly perfect. You've got a little bit of everything, and it's sung through, but the music, this original score, is so beautiful and catchy that it's like you almost forget that it's sung through, and it just flows so nicely. And then you do have a couple of songs which may lean towards a certain genre, like rock and roll, but then it changes and it's jazzy, and we've got a live saxophonist on stage, so it's almost like the musicians are also part of the story and part of the cast as well. It is genuinely really unique, and I've not seen anything like it myself, so I feel really lucky to be in it.
Now, you mentioned kind of the different elements that are in the production. What is the ultimate story, though, behind this play?
Yeah, so the story centres on two young people called Tom and Kate, and they sort of wake up in a bit of a scary situation. They are tied to chairs. They don't know to begin with who's sat behind them, and the story is them unraveling how they got there. So like I say, it is a thriller.
I mean, that in itself is a brilliant start to a play, because you're just like, hang on, what's going on here, especially if,
Yeah.
like yourself, you were new to it and you just kind of thinking, well, what's going to come next? How is this going to get from kind of A to B? And it's a small cast as well, isn't it? There's just 4 of you in that.
Yeah, there's just 4 of us in it. So there's Charlotte, Joe, myself, and Craig. Yeah, so it's been lovely to work with them. Yeah, and I play a few different characters throughout the play as well. So it's
and as an
lots of fun.
actor, I think I when you come to do a play, usually you do just get the choice of one part. So when I see smaller casts, I think it must be more challenging and actually more interesting for you to have a go at different ones.
Yeah, I love it. I love playing different characters. And yeah, it can be challenging. Some you might not initially have like a really strong idea on how you're going to play it, but as the rehearsal progresses, and even like a couple of days before, I was discovering new things with each of my characters. And yeah, that's the sort of acting I really enjoy to do. I've done a sketch show before at the Edge where I've got to play loads of different characters too. And I think that's what I do best at, to be honest.
Because you mentioned the Edge there, and the Edge is celebrating its 10th anniversary. I mean, God, where did those 10 years go? It's fantastic, isn't it?
It is. It's an absolute gem in Chorlton. It really is. And I remember I rehearsed in it about 15 years ago when I was doing some theatre and education. And it was this like sort of cold building, like with nice big spaces to rehearse in. And that was all it was. And since Janine and Simon and Dom have taken over, it's like such a lovely community hub. And the moment you walk in, it's got a warm, cozy vibe. Like all of the staff are lovely and welcoming. And it really does. They work with like such a diverse range of people in the community. I mean, hats off to them. And I'm just like I say, really blessed to work there, to be honest. Yeah.
And also, I think what you're saying, it's kind of bringing new people and new communities to theatre, because you do have the big theatres and they kind of like bring productions, but theatre is getting expensive as time goes on, and sometimes people don't have that opportunity to kind of go and see productions. So I do think the smaller theatres just give that, don't they?
They do, and I've noticed that with the Edge as well, they do have an option where you can pay what you can afford for your theatre ticket. So they really do want to make it accessible for everyone. And I think that's lovely. And Spinach is the sort of play which I could take my nan to see and she'd enjoy it. I could take, my mate to see, a 16-year-old. And I think everybody would really enjoy it and get something out of it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, gosh, a couple of my friends saw it in the starting process 10 years ago, and somebody who went to see it last night just said to me, one word, random. and then messaged later and said, but blooming brilliant. I won't say the actual word, but blooming brilliant. It's kind of like, it has that effect, doesn't it? To kind of like really, again, excite and engage and work on lots of levels. And I think it's nice that, because sometimes when you go and see something, you definitely do know what to expect. Like you said, there's lots of different kind of genres in it. If you're going to kind of go and see a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, it's going to be a certain kind of thing. Even an Andrew Lloyd Webber kind of, it's going to have that essence. What is it like as well, going back to being completely sung, if you ever forget a line? Has that happened? Or does that just put the fear of God in you?
Yeah, shush. That's yeah, not gone there yet. Because not only is it sung, it can be quite quickly sung as well. The score's quite fast. And put it this way, I have to do a really vigorous vocal warm-up before I start. If I was to forget a line, hopefully the audience wouldn't notice, but I would probably have to try and find something that rhymes and was also part of the story. So yeah, that would be a challenge. Thanks for putting that in my head, Michelle.
I am so sorry, and if that
just-
ever happens now, I will feel so bad, Rachel.
Yeah, your little face.
Forget it.
Gone. But yeah, but that's the beauty of a live performance, and that's what I won't say I've missed forgetting a line, but that's why I love going to the theatre as well, for just the that excitement of it.
And you have done both theatre and television. I know that you've been in Cold Feet. I know that you've been in Coronation Street. Do you, as you've just mentioned, do you have that love of live then more because you're getting that instant reaction?
It's totally different. Yeah, it is totally different. I do really enjoy both. I love working on a TV set. That's got a really exciting buzz for me as well. But again, completely different. And to be in front of a live audience and to have them engage in what you're doing, to have the laughs. I mean, come on, I'm an actor. I want that attention. I love it. It's such a lovely buzz. That we're all sort of sharing the same story. And, I think with like the year and a bit that we've had as a nation, it's lovely to go to the theatre and to just be absorbed in something and to all be on the same journey for like, an hour and 15 minutes. I think it's great.
Now, this runs until the 18th of December. So I'm presuming you might get a bit of downtime to enjoy Christmas, or are you straight into anything else, Rachel?
Oh no, actually I am getting a bit of downtime, I think. Yeah. With the kids. So do you ever have downtime with kids? Maybe.
Oh, it's hard, isn't it? It really is. You juggle a million and one things, and then the kids, it's more chaotic downtime. Do you not think?
Yeah, totally. So I think I'll get properly into the spirit and maybe get my shopping done after the 18th of December.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we know where to come and find you up until the 18th. It is just the most kind of exciting, as I say, fresh show and something for everybody. So if you can head to the Edge, you are going to be really impressed and going to love every minute of it. And I think as well, it is a real alternative to what is out there at the moment, so if you don't want to be bombarded by things that are festive, or you don't want to go down that panto route, then go and see Spinach. Oh, do you know what? She was such a lovely person to interview, Rachel was. And what a great actress. It is an exciting production. And I've had loads of people telling me it is brilliant. So if you can get to see that and also support a theatre that is doing so much good in its community and such an intimate performance as well, because it's quite a small theatre that you saw there. But it's Rachel McGuinness. Beautiful lady, absolutely beautiful and totally talented as well. So what's coming up in the world of theatre? Well, every week I like to tell you what's on at the theatre. So take a look what treats are in store. Oh, there's a plethora, isn't there, at the minute? I mean, you're spoiled for choice. You've got everything from panto to musicals to plays with songs that aren't operas. The choice is yours. So hopefully you will be able to take your pick and get yourself to the theatre, because there is nothing like a live performance. Talking of live performances, you're going to see one that is truly going to stay with you now, because we are down to the second part of my interview with the lovely Ian and Jonty, who play Eric and Ern in Eric and Ern at Christmas at the Lowry, which starts from tomorrow. But yes, there's a sneaky performance that we do in this next part, and if you have got earplugs at the ready, then you might just need them. Just a little bit of a word for warning. But here's the guys telling me a little bit about what Ernie's and Eric's family have thought about them doing their own take on those wonderful comedy legends. What's the reaction been from Morecambe and Wise's family? Have you got the thumbs up there?
Yeah, we have. I mean, they've been amazing, haven't they, Ian? From when we first met Gary, when was it? In 2014?
2013. 2013.
Yeah, you tell the story better than me.
Well, no, he came up to Edinburgh because he'd heard about our show, Eric Little Learn to Play, and he'd heard some good things. So he came up to check it out, really, because they hadn't seen it. And I think he came down thinking, right, these two are going to be rubbish. I'm going to close it down or whatever. And just as the show finished, we got the standing ovation, and we came out, and the two girls, about 24, 25, came up and said, "Can we just say that was the best show we've seen in Edinburgh? Amazing! Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much." And as they walked away, he went, "Did you pay them to do that?"
And we did.
We did
a lot of money.
He's never found out. He's never found
No.
out. No.
Oh,
They've been fantastic to us.
Brilliant.
He said, Gary said, it was like watching Dad and Uncle Ernie when I was 12 years old in my tweed jacket. So, that's...
You can't get better than that.
You can't get better than that. No.
You can't get better than that. Well, I've got to say, if we'd have been in person, I had every desire to become your Angela Rippon. And I wanted to grab you guys and do a little bit of a dance and do the whole thing with you.
Oh, yeah.
But, seeing as we're on Zoom, even though you've got lovely backgrounds, Ian, I think you've paid more attention to Christmas than Jonty has.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes.
His girls are younger than mine.
I've got twin girls, 12 years old. Christmas starts early in this household, let me tell you.
Oh, it certainly does. We had our tree up in November, so yes, I'm with you all the way.
Well, I've just got mine down today.
Oh, well done.
If you'll pardon the question.
So what I'm going to say is that because I couldn't dance with you and do the proper dance, can we have a joint sing-along to Bring Me Sunshine?
Absolutely.
We can.
Now, my singing's really bad. All right, just to warn you.
We'll all be good then.
Go on, count us in, Jonty. Let's go for it.
1, 2, 3.
Bring me sunshine in your smile.
Lovely.
Bring me laughter all the while. In this world where we live, there must be more happiness. So much joy
you can
that
give.
you bring in this brand new bright tomorrow.
We'll bring the words.
Hang on. The dogs
are
howling around here. I don't know.
Was that not the right words?
No, but it does
or the right key or the right tune. But apart from that, it was great.
Hey, I better get laughs though, wouldn't I?
Oh, you would. From us, if nobody else.
Right, I need it to leave it to you, the professionals. And what we need to do is we all need to come and see you at the Lowry. You are there until the 6th, from the 6th, should I say, till the 12th of December. And I honestly think this is definitely the show to go and see that is just going to make you feel so uplifted. And that is definitely something the whole world needs right now. We need Ian and Jonty in our life as Eric and Ern. And please do keep doing this because, like you say, you've done it for 7 years. You're doing it brilliantly. You've done Eric and Little Ern. You're doing Eric and Ern at Christmas. I'm just dying to know what the next one is. So I'll keep my eyes posted for that. And please come back on the show, won't you?
I will do. Thank you, Michelle. Been lovely. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Take care.
Who is she?
Good luck with the singing lessons.
Who is she? I've no idea.
I've no idea.
I thought it was Angela Rippon.
Do we get paid now?
I hope so.
What were they like? And what was my singing like? Oh, I have to say, I definitely need some lessons, don't I? I should save the singing just for the shower. But what an opportunity to sing with Ian and Jonty. I've actually had a comment in. Heather says, love it, Michelle. This has brought me joy. I don't know if you're mentioning the singing there. Maybe that didn't bring you joy. I think the guys brought you joy. They were absolutely hilarious. And I think, you know what? That is going to be one hell of a show. It really is going to bring the tears streaming down your face and a lot of joy in your heart. It definitely brought a lot of joy into my heart this evening. And so did all of my guests. We had some brilliant guests tonight. We had Marlene Lewis and we also had Rachel McGuinness. And next week, we have got even more amazing people with me live in the Hive. We're going to have the cast of Peter Pan. We're going to have the actress Samantha Womack and also Ren Twitter. ventriloquist. See, I can't say that. I'm like a ventriloquist myself. Nina Conti. So please do not miss it. You know where we are. We are here live in the Hive. We're every Sunday at 8 o'clock, and we are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We can't get anywhere else, can we? I'm sure I can try and fit in something else, but yes, the only place that gives you the latest of news and interviews around theatre in Greater Manchester.